Dumpsters, not really finding much since I went last night, and I do see metal sticking out of this one. This one has been pretty nasty lately with all the illegal dumping of nasty trash, but I do see wire in all this conduit. Some racing tires. But yeah, the flies and everything else here are pretty bad. So I see wire sticking out of there and up here. It's probably going to be good number one. I can bend all this up, stick it inside the Jeep. That is more wire. Yeah. So, and that's just painted conduit. It's not copper or anything. So all this looks the same, all this looks the same. Don't need these scraps of plywood. So yeah, I'm gonna grab this stuff, bend it up, and get it inside the Jeep. Okay, back at the big yellow dumpster. I'm not gonna be in here long. Just wanna take a look. Number one, got some good stuff. That is good wire. And take it. Not gonna take that, I don't think, today. That's a bunch of little pieces. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time going after the really little stuff. Wish I could find more of that stuff. That would be nice. But I did see microwave, so let's go ahead and take that, and then I will take the conduit. There's a little bit in here. Fairly certain the old ones aren't in here. Nope. I'll take that. Alright, so it's nice heavy conduit. Piping. Yeah, I do think that's about it on this one. Oh, cool. How are these? These will fit in the back of the truck. Jeep, so I'll just go ahead and grab them. Yeah, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna mess with this today. That one's too long. Yeah, I think that's about it. There's a lot of light stuff in here and some things I could grab, but I'll grab that just because it's small. But let me load up this stuff and then decide if I'm gonna grab more or not on the way out. All right, so I am gonna get the one long piece. I'm gonna just go ahead and grab that and then head out of here. That'll fit right up on the roof. So we'll grab that, and that is everything. All right, so this one might be the last one of the night, not sure yet, but not really finding much tonight. And I already looked on the other side, it's got an umbrella, so I will take that. And it's just a bunch of clean out junk, but nothing good. Can't even lift up these things to see if there's anything worthwhile to go after. Okay, all that stuff was there last week. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab that, stick that on the roof. That can come with me. And did hit a bunch of dumpsters that I pulled like one or two things out of that I didn't film just because there really wasn't much in it, but yeah, it's aluminum at least. So let's go ahead and snag that, and that be it. Okay, so the next day I'm just going to go through this real quick because it wasn't a very long run as far as videos go. I stopped at a lot of dumpsters yesterday, but I didn't find much. And when I did find something, it was one piece here, one piece there, and I didn't film a lot of it, but still some interesting things. So there's all the shred stuff. And somebody had mentioned these double-lined pipes, that they might be worth something. I'm actually going to use that for something I'm trying to keep squirrels out of. So that one's going to stay with me, but I might look into that. More shred material. There was a bunch of wire in this stuff. This I found off camera. So that is magnetic underneath this plastic coating. And these are cast aluminum pieces. So I'll remove the cast aluminum from this end and that end and turn in the rest as shred. Microwave, that's all magnetic, and I'll just take the transformer out of that, leave it at that. Another box fan, take the motor out of that. This entire umbrella is aluminum, so I'm going to take off the fabric, cut off all the connection points that are magnetic if they won't come out easily any other way, and then turn that in as aluminum. And then this here is still more wire. The wire up there is aluminum, non-magnetic, but this wire here is all good bare braid. And so that's what's in the bottom of this container, all the wire out of those, which ended up being a good few pounds altogether, and that's all bare braid. I'll strip that. Like this stuff here, I think I found that in another dumpster, but more bare braid. And then another one that I didn't film, you know, I went in there or looked inside and I just saw a wire, and all of a sudden underneath the pallet I found a bunch of more wire that was in the bottom of some nastiness. But I dug it out and I forgot to turn on the camera when I was doing that. And then some splitters, but these are all magnetic, so I'm not sure if I'll just throw those in or take the crim boards out or whatever. And then I thought this was Romex, and it's not. It's just like data wire or something. I'll strip off the outer layer and then probably keep it at that after that. I don't like stripping this smaller stuff. It's just, I don't enjoy it, and I just don't need to do it. So that'll break down a little bit. And then just some stuff out of some garage dumpsters, some die cast, or that might be zinc, but just garage parts, and then more of this wire, which is really starting to add up. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of grade I get for that from my scrapyard. And more of the same in there. These wheels I found in another one that I didn't film. They are used, but you know, I might be able to sell them for $1 or $2 a piece. They still look like they could be used. And then I should have filmed this, but there was an open top, had nothing in it. Outside of it was a dishwasher, and I don't do dishwashers. I mean, it's just a big, ginormous plastic tub. But I turned it over, and it still had the motor in it. So I started taking it apart, and the transformer, or the transformer came out. So I'll just turn that in as is. I have a feeling that that might be aluminum too. A lot of times those are aluminum, so I'll have to test that out, but not sure if I'm going to pull that out or not. Anyway, so there's more cast here that I can turn in, and then that was the wire also from the dishwasher. So not a whole lot. Even stopped in a retail one that I usually hit and just found this lock without the key. So not much I can do with that. So that'll just be shred as well. So that's pretty much it, but I've got a lot of micro scrapping to do, so I need to get at it. So this here real quick was on my roof, and that's why you didn't see it when I was showing the rest of this stuff, but I decided to go ahead and weigh that just to give you an idea of what something like this is worth. So it's got the insulation in it, and so does that piece. That piece there is 20 pounds, and at the incredibly low price that I get for shred material of 6.75 cents a pound, we'll just be really generous and say 7 cents a pound. So for 7 cents a pound, that is $1.40. So to pull that out and put it on the roof, that doesn't take much to strap down on the roof. So that equates to $1.40, but you've got this ginormous thing that I've got to put over here with the rest of my shred stuff. And then that there is 8 pounds, so that's 56 cents, that particular piece. So that I just threw inside. Sometimes I leave this behind just because it does take up so much space for so little value. And other times I will grab it, especially like this stuff, because you can see it's relatively clean. Some of this stuff I grab and the dust is just incredible. You have no idea what kind of stuff is in there. And every time I move it, it just creates clouds of dust. So I'll decide on the spot whether or not I want to deal with it, and two, if I want to deal with the inside of it and the mess that it creates. So those two pieces right there are what, $2, not even. And that's why sometimes I make the decisions to leave that stuff behind, especially if it's been torn apart and it's all jagged and I could get cut by it, or it's gonna, you know, interfere with other things sitting good inside the truck or the Jeep or whatever. But it's just the way it is because of my low shred prices. But that's what happens when you live in a monopolistic area when it comes to steel processors. I've got one within an hour-and-a-half drive. So they've got a captive audience. They are the best prices in town. I know I've mentioned this before, but for the newer viewers, that's why I'm just not getting much. I know other people around the country are getting twice what I'm getting and sometimes more, but that's just how it is for me, unfortunately. It's been that price for months. I think twice I saw it jump up to $7.75, and that's the most I've ever seen it. So it is a bummer. I do make up for a little bit with the small scale stuff and the non-ferrous items. I do get decent pricing on that stuff overall for my wire and my aluminum, but you know, for as much of that as I turn in versus the amount of steel, it really doesn't add up for the low price. But not a whole lot I can do about it. I am not driving 3 hours round trip to get a better price, no matter how much I'm going to be able to fit in the back of my truck. So it's just one of those annoying things you got to deal with, but can't do anything about. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my scrap area. People have asked about it, and it's really embarrassing right now because I have not been able to micro scrap just because of other things that I've been working on. So bear with me. I will show it again when it's more organized. Really messing around with my organization mindset. So there are the aluminum housings that I still need to flatten out a bit that I got, I think, in the last video from the light fixtures. Radiator that I need to break down, blower motor unit, stuff from the last video still sitting in a wheelbarrow. The stuff under that tarp I found months ago in the open top that I just kept finding all that electronic or server rack stuff. Those are all the aluminum tubes that I was debating on selling. I'm not going to sell them. I'm just going to turn them in as aluminum extrusion. And then there's the stainless steel napkin holder still, and then a tub of aluminum plate. So here's where I do a lot of my scrapping. I can barely walk through it right now. You got the vacuum cleaner there that I haven't been able to sell on Facebook Marketplace. That's my crash cart that I pull around with some tools in it and other things. And then this is my wire storage. where I'll break it down. I break it down a lot further than I need to, because sometimes I end up getting a bump in the grade, which just makes me break it down more than I need to, rather than throw it all into what I think is the same. All this is clean. I cut the ends off of it. Number one wire that's just in short pieces that I don't want to strip, or just a jumbled mess, and I'll throw it in there. And then cast aluminum, stainless, and other things. So that's part of my organization. The fan I just put up here for the heat, I need to do something nicer with that. I just did that the other day. This is all stuff that has to be sorted yet, including this down here. That's just my grinder. I leave that out here all the time like this, because I just want to hit things with the grinder to tell what it is. This is all my number one that I need to strip, just a jumbled mess. I need to get to that. Stuff I need to further break down. Plywood from a box that I got a long time ago. Shelves that I found, egg crates. So this has got capacitors in it. That's got ballast in it. That's small batteries. It's lead acid batteries. Small transformers that I won't break down. I'll just turn in as is. Those are transformer parts. That's just the copper that I need to clean all the paper off of. I've got motors down there, and then various other things. Some of these are still empty, but you can see then back here that it's like a junkyard. It's driving me insane. That is all the data wire that I found that I'm about to just turn into the scrapyard, because I have not got any hits on Facebook or on eBay for the couple of things that I have put up. And to be honest, it's not worth dealing with people when I can get the same price for scrap. So more than likely, the hundreds of pounds of data wire that's in there is going to get turned into scrap. More wire and miscellaneous breakage I got to go through. This is hundreds of pounds of wire in containers that I need to separate out, everything from 45% up to 65%. And then all of this, that's usually where I stand to work on this metal table. This is where I do all my heavy and, well, I just say dirty micro scrapping. And then over here is where I just like clean up wire and do some minor things. But out here, it's nice and shaded for the most part. That's the tailgate that I found months ago. I still haven't posted that. One of the radiators, just more containers of stuff. Both those burn barrels are full of green boards that I need to turn into board sort. I actually got to sort through them and do all that one day. But, you know, there's more wire. I think that's a data cable. And then the pumps that I found of the dumpster that I got kicked out of. So those are still sitting here. I got to take out this brass rod, because that's the only thing in there that's non-magnetic. But that's going to probably take a little bit of work. That's still got wire in the corrugated. And that's I actually found that unit quite a while ago, and I just keep miscellaneous tools in there. If somebody steals them, I don't care. It's just most of the tools I found in dumpsters anyway. And then back here is all the sinks that I still got to manage with. I got to take all the, you know, the fittings off and the copper out. And that I think I found a couple of weeks ago. That's still got all wire in it. But yeah, you can just see it's a mess here. Some radiators, those are aluminum hoods I got to turn in when I get my truck back next week. And so I've got, you know, weeks of work here. Once I start hammering at it, this stuff does start to clean up quite nicely. I want to sort out all my mats here to make them more joined, but I love having these mats. I found these in the one open top, and it's a lot better than stepping on the stone. But yeah, it's a mess. I admit it. I will go through this again, tell you everything that I found that I use for organization, including this crash cart in dumpsters. So most of what you see here is all free stuff. The shelves, the egg crates, the bins, that bin, the crash cart, almost all this, even the table. The table I, you know, even put, it's a glass table, so I found this spool, put it on top of the glass. I can knock on that and not worry about the glass breaking. And even if it does, I'll just replace it with the spool. But just a real quick tour of where I am when I'm micro scrapping, and you can see my bins are getting full. I've really got to get out there to the small scales and just start turning some of this in. People have been telling me to hold on to the copper because prices are going to keep going up, but as you can see, I have very little place for all my stuff to go. Now, once I get this all broken down, it does create more space, but I keep everything back here because my girlfriend's yard, or the rest of her yard, is over there, and I don't want all this to be seen. When all this is bare, the neighbor gets to see my junkyard. I'm even thinking of putting up a privacy fence here just because. But yeah, that's the spot. This is where I spend most of my time during the day when I'm quote-unquote working or hobbying, whatever it might be. And I don't like to have this stuff here, so this all needs to be cleaned up. I like to keep this completely clean. It's my wood splitting area. That is also my cast part. Has frustrated the heck out of me, aluminum cast, and I beat it with a sledgehammer there. So just to get the irony bits out of it if they won't come willingly. So yeah, it's a nice spot. All this is just open area from the neighbors up there. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.